hours. Also monitoring from the orbiting laboratory. And as we sit this morning at this hour, the International Space Station currently flying over the South Pacific, about to make its way to the northwest portion of South America.
Houston on 1. We expect another 3 minutes until 5 PSI.
Copy, 3 minutes. We're seeing about them pass through about 6.5 now, and EV1 and EV2, you can expect an alert tone at 6, and we'll check in with you again at 5 PSI. EV1, 2.
Communications with Jack Hathaway and the team here on the ground inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room. And also relaying those comms to the 2 astronauts inside of the crew airlock as the depressurization continuing on. Now it's 6.3 pounds per square inch inside of that crew lock. And again, all of these procedures on the checklist ahead of today's U.S. Spacewalk 96. And once the checkouts for both these suits and safety procedures for both Menon and Mir are complete, the hatch will open outside of the Quest airlock to welcome them out into the vacuum of space, and we'll await the call for the suits to be transferred to battery power, and that will again mark the official start time of today's spacewalk. Now approaching 5.5 pounds per square inch inside the crew lock, which is on the other side of that hatchway you see before you. Sophie Adno and Jack Hathaway also monitoring from the equipment lock of the Quest airlock of the International Space Station.
EV2, you guys are about 5.5 PSI now. When we get to 5, we're going to have you do a step, so we'll just, we're almost there. Copy.
And there you hear the commands that once we reach 5 PSI inside of the crew lock, there will be additional commands and checkouts performed before continuing on with the depressurization to bring that crew lock down to vacuum and allow Jessica Mir and Anil Menon to exit the International Space Station.
All right, to EV2, if you'd reach out and put your hand on the depressed pump manual isolation valve and move it to the closed position, you'll get an alert tone.
Depressed man ISO valve is closed.
We're just going to watch for a second, watch the pressure stabilize. All right, we see you guys stable at 5 for EV1 and EV2. On your DCMs, take your display switch into status until you see leak check ? Then a long yes, and follow the displayed instructions. Let us know when you're done.
EV1. EV2.
now, the crew lock continuing to hold stable at close to 5 psi, pounds per square inch, as Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno working with NASA astronauts Jess Kamir and Anil Menon through today's checkouts ahead of U.S. Spacewalk 96, and of course monitoring from the ground as well and communicating some of these checkouts are today's U.S. Spacewalk 96 team. And there you see in the navy blue suit right in the middle of your screen is Ronak Dave, the flight director for today's spacewalk, and his Momentum flight team overseeing everything.
EV2 leak check complete, going to EVA.
Copy, 2 good leak checks, and then step 6, let us know when you guys are in EVA. Copy, EV1 EVA.
EV2 EVA.
The EV2 EVA. And EV2, if you take the depress pump manual isolation valve to open, you should get an alert tone.
Depress pump manual isolation valve is open.
Copy that. Sophie's going to take the emergency MPEV out here to open. All right, the emergency MPEV is open out here. Both of you monitor your suit P gauge, stay below 5.5, and let us know if it doesn't.
EV1. EV2.
Two good leak checks reported by NASA astronauts Jess Kamir and Anil Menon as they are inside the crew lock of the Quest airlock with support from Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno, as we have now resumed the depressurization of the crew lock ahead of today's spacewalk, U.S. Spacewalk 96, as we approach now 4 pounds per square inch, bringing down that crew lock from about 14.5 all the way down to vacuum. And from here, we'll continue to monitor on the ground with the flight control team, the Momentum Flight, and Flight Director Ronak Dave. And stand by as we get ready to begin the official start of today's EVA. And again, that'll occur when the suits are moved over to battery power for both Menon and Mir. But at the current moment, the pressure continuing to drop inside of the crew lock, now approaching 3.5 pounds per square inch. Pressure inside the crew lock continuing to fall, now approaching 3 pounds per square inch.
Decreasing through 3.0 psi. Our next step's at 2.0 psi.
Again, the crew continuing to work with the teams on the ground and the 2 astronauts for today's spacewalk, and Jess Kamir and Anil Menon through their spacewalk procedures. And we heard that the next round of procedures will come as we near closer to 2 pounds per square inch, currently at 2.75. Again, we welcome you to the live coverage of today's U.S. Spacewalk 96 as depressurization of the crew lock inside of the Quest airlock well underway, now approaching close to 2.10 pounds per square inch, monitored on your screens by Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno.
2.0 psi. If you'd reach out, put your hand on the depress pump manual isolation valve and move it to the closed position.
Press pump man ISO valve is closed.
All right, we're looking at the pressure for a second or two. Right, and on the UIA EV2, you can take the depress pump power switch to the off position.
Press pump power switch is off. OFF.
Copy off OFF. It's been great working with you guys. We'll see you in a couple hours. Houston, you got them.
Thank you so much, Jack and Sophie.
Thanks, guys.
Good morning. Jessica and Anil, thank you, Jack and Sophie. We are ready for your initial tether configurations for egress.
Morning, Stephanie. I can start the tether config. I have my waist tether on my right side on my mini workstation, and I have the small hook on my right steering extender gate closed slider lock. I have my anchor hook also on my workstation. I can see that my green reel is unlocked. My yellow hook is on the green reel, that's gate closed slider lock. My red reel is unlocked, and I can see my green hook is on the red reel that is unlocked. I have a Mills anchor hook also on the red reel that is gate closed slider locked. I can see his green reel is unlocked, and I can see his yellow hook on his green reel, gate closed slider locked. And I can see his red reel. So that's just disappearing out of my view. And now can you see the rest of yours?
Yes, red reel's unlocked, and the green hook is on the red reel unlocked. Starting from my left steering extender, I see the small hook of my left waist tether. Closed lock black on black. It's attached to the large hook of the airlock waist tether. Both hooks are closed lock black on black. And that small hook goes to the airlock steering extender, closed lock black on black. My right waist tether is attached to the D-ring extender, closed lock black on black with the small hook. The large hook is unlocked on my NWF, and my red hook is on my right D-ring direct. It's closed lock black on black.
And we copy all. We need EV1's red hook.
My red hook is gate closed slider locked on my right D-ring extender.
2 good tether configs for EV1 and EV2. Thank you. When crew lock DPDT is about 0, EV crew expect an alert tone.
1.
DT.
Communications from the team here on the ground in Mission Control Houston in the International Space Station Flight Control Room, relaying information shared with today's NASA astronaut and spacewalkers, Jessica Meir and Anil Menon. That was Stephanie Wilson, the voice you heard on the ground after communications was officially handed over. And thanks to Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno of NASA and ESA respectively for preparing both Menon and Meir for today's spacewalk. Currently inside the crew lock where those 2 astronauts reside, approaching a 1.30 pounds per square inch. And the view you see right now, an external camera aboard the International Space Station looking at the Quest airlock. So as the crew continues to work through its safety tether procedures is what you heard. And again, safety checkouts will be quite often occurring during today's spacewalk. We will await the suits for both astronauts to be turned on to battery power, and that'll officially mark the beginning of today's spacewalk to install a mod kit on the 3B mass canister to set up for the rollout of an International Space Station rollout solar array to help augment the power of the orbiting laboratory. Depressurization of the crew lock continuing to occur as we now are approaching 1 pound per square inch inside of that crew lock of the Quest airlock, which you see the external views of outside of the International Space Station. Right now, the International Space Station orbiting 260 miles above the Earth, currently passing over the Atlantic Ocean. We'll stand by and continue to monitor the falling of that pressure inside the crew lock, now about to hit 1 pound per square inch, and await for the calls to have the crew and Jessica Meir and Anil Menon switch their suits onto battery power, and then we'll begin the procedures to begin opening the hatch. And for Jessica Meir, that will begin what will be her 6th spacewalk of her career, her 3rd on her current time aboard the International Space Station. And for Anil Menon, this will be his very first venture out into space. We welcome you to today's live coverage of U.S. Spacewalk 96 outside of the International Space Station, featuring NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon as the depressurization of the crew lock continuing onward, now under 1 pound per square inch, 0.88 pounds per square inch currently is the depressurization moving forward. Everything so far in their pre-spacewalk procedures have gone by the book. With the pre-breathe, the install of the safer and Medox canisters, the crew moved from the equipment lock to the crew lock. Additional safety checkouts and procedures performed by both the astronauts themselves and their support groups, both Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno aboard the International Space Station offering assistance, as well as the teams here in Mission Control Houston.
Airlock Houston, we are tracking about 4.5 minutes to 0.
V1.
And with that communication, the relay from Stephanie Wilson up to the crew is that they are now tracking about 4.5 minutes until that crew lock will reach 0, the vacuum of space. And we continue to monitor and follow along with the process. But again, next steps from here will be the crew moving their suits, their spacewalk suits, to battery power to begin the formal beginning of today's spacewalk. And then the go will be given to open up the hatch thermal covers and the hatch itself before beginning their egress to begin today's spacewalk. And again, today's spacewalk performed by Jess Kamir and Anil Menon. They will exit the Quest airlock here in only a few more moments, and that will begin their journey to install hardware that will modify the station's 3B power channel and prepare it for future installation of an International Space Station rollout solar array. And that solar array will be scheduled for delivery a little bit later this year aboard NASA's SpaceX's 35th Commercial Resupply Services mission. It will be the 7th IROSA and will provide additional power to support critical station operations, including its safe and controlled deorbit. Now, 2 minutes relayed to the pounds per square inch to reach 0, the vacuum of space currently sitting at 0.68. Part of today's EVA tasks are to install the mod kit, the construction of the mod kit for the 3B mast canister, and route the IROSA cables necessary to then power up that future IROSA and connect it to those power channels for the space station. And of course, for Anil Menon and Jess Kamir, set up that mast canister and the 3B mod kit to a good configuration, a good position for that future EVA and eventual rollout of the solar array. Continuing to monitor along the depressurization of the crew lock of the Quest airlock, which inside the view you see here of the Quest airlock is NASA astronauts Jess Kamir and Anil Menon approaching 0.60 pounds per square inch as it is being brought down to vacuum. All initial checks and safety checkouts have gone by the book, and we'll await the commands from the team here on the ground in support of today's U.S. Spacewalk 96 for instruction to move their spacesuits to battery power, which will bring the official start of today's spacewalk, and then the commands to begin opening the hatch thermal cover and begin egress or exiting procedures to move into the vacuum of space. And for Jess Kamir, again, this will be her 6th spacewalk of her career, the 3rd of her current mission as a member of NASA SpaceX's Crew 12 and the current International Space Station commander. And she will add to what has already become an impressive total of time out in space, 36 hours and 6 minutes as it stands this moment. And for Anil Menon, who just arrived to the orbiting laboratory only a few weeks ago after launching on July 14th as a member of the Soyuz MS-29 crew. This is his first space flight, and this will be his first adventure outside into the vacuum of space. And for today's 3B mod kit installation, we mentioned that this would be a part of a package deal that will be brought up to IROSAs and pairs on the NASA SpaceX 35th Commercial Resupply Services mission. The 7th IROSA set will be a part of the 2A mod kit channel that was completed in portions back in March of 2026 and beginning in May of 2025. And then for this 3B power channel mod kit, it would be the 8th rollout solar array to make its way out of the International Space Station. Now reaching 0.50 pounds per square inch, half a pound per square inch as it currently stands inside of the crew lock of the Quest airlock of the International Space Station. As we continue to methodically bring that down to zero, to the vacuum of space, before NASA astronauts Jess Kamir and Anil Menon will begin today's 96th U.S. spacewalk and install the IROSA mod kit on the 3B mass canister.
Erlac Houston, we see crew lock P less than 0.5. We are ready for you to verify EV hatch gauge.
Work. And now I'm coming left a little bit toward your feet to reset.
I'm moving my feet up.
I see negative 0.4.
That is a good number. You have a go to open the EV hatch and stow it.
Work.
Communication is there as the team has received the go to open the EV hatch. As Jess Kamir radioing down to the team here in Mission Control Houston in the International Space Station Flight Control Room. That is now in work as we are under now 0.20 pounds per square inch inside of the crew lock, and we'll await the call to hear that crew switch their suits to battery power, formally begin today's EVA or spacewalk, extravehicular activity. And then from there, the views you see on your screen, the external cameras on board the International Space Station will begin to see movement and eventual exiting and egressing of the two NASA astronauts.
A little bit toward you.
Yes. I'm moving the cable bag out of your way to create space.
Okay, the hatch is open. I'm just trying to slide it back to the hatch. Keith?
Yep. Okay, you should have more space for your feet. You have about a foot if you need to go a foot. Body.
Okay, I got the right position now. Got it. Thank you. All right, hatch is open.
Copy, hatch open. For Jack and Sophie, take emergency MPEV to closed.
MPEV closed.
Copy that. That completes crew lock depress. Moving on to post depress. On your DCMs, take your power switches to bat. Stagger switch those, expecting a warning tone.
Okay, copy, in work. Power back.
Power is back.
Take display switches to Pro to verify functional display.
V1 functional.
EV2 functional.
On the UIA, take power EV1, EV2, two switches to off, OFF.
V1 power off. V2 power off.
Copy,
Expected
check.
water off message.
Copy expected water off message. Check power EV1, EV2 LEDs, 4 of them off, OFF.
4 off, OFF.
EV1 has the expected suit P high.
Also copy expected suit P high. On your DCMs, just connect the SCU from the DCM and install the DCM cover.
Work.
Ten seconds, 20-second handover.
Baby LOS, but EV1 has SCU disconnected and in the pouch, and DCM covers up.
EV2 is disconnected into the pouch, DCM cover is up.
Copy all EV1, EV2. On the crew lock, check depress pump man ISO valve is closed.
Press pump man ISO valve is closed.
On your DCMs, take temperature control valves to max hot.
Work. EV1 max hot.
EV2 max hot.
Take water switch to on.
EV1 water on.
EV2 water on.
Check DCM blank, bite off.
DCM blank, bite off.
DCM blank, bite off.
Take your temperature control valves as you desire and report the settings to us.
Thank you for joining us for today's live coverage of
EV2 set at 7.
Copy EV16, EV27. Please report all subsequent TCV changes to us. Report suit P gauge pressure.
EV1 4.2 on the suit P gauge.
EV2 is 4.2 gauge.
Copy 4.2 for both EV1 and EV2 on the suit P gauge. You can set your visors as required for day.
One.
EV2.
And we have good suit parameters on the ground. We will take the airlock VRIV step also from the ground. That completes post-depress. Jessica, we are ready for you to open the hatch thermal cover. Release the hook from the magnetic plate D-ring, attach the hook to the stowage tether point, and cinch the strap until snug. Confirm 6 lines visible.
Okay, copy and work.
And we again welcome you to today's live coverage of U.S. Spacewalk 96. We're just a couple of moments ago at 7:33 a.m. Central Time, 8:33 a.m. Eastern. The suits to NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon have been switched on to battery power. They just completed their post-depress checklist that you heard in communication with Spacewalk communicator Stephanie Wilson, you see on your screen here, sitting next to Flight Director Ronak Dave. So again, the official start time of today's Spacewalk, 7:33 a.m. Central Time, 8:33 a.m. Eastern, as the International Space Station was flying over Germany.
You can egress the airlock and turn on your HECA.
Work.
We are currently experiencing communications handovers between satellites as expected, and the team is monitoring, so we will keep things here inside of Mission Control Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room, as the team's actively working through today's pre-spacewalk procedures. Steve Villano, the lead spacewalk officer, along with Drew Burr and Lucas Winder, the spacewalk task officers to support today, along with Matt Hahn, the spacesuit support team, and Andrew Francis and his airlock support team. We also heard commands on Jessica Meir, NASA astronaut currently in work, to...
I have a tether down, and I have my HECA turned on.
And as we regain communication and receive views, there we see Jessica Meir outside of the Quest airlock as she has now formally begun her 6th spacewalk of her career. And we will monitor Jessica's progress through today. You can see towards the top of her backpack the portable life support system, the red stripes.
On your BRT taped towards your head, and you can use an adjustable from your mini workstation as a load alleviating strap as desired for translation.
On copies.
Strap bag is between the hatch and the staging bag, so it's going to take me a second to try to free that.
Okay, take your time. I'm getting my BRT ready.
So Jessica Meir now outside of the Quest airlock. NASA astronaut Anil Menon still inside. For Jessica, she mentioned the BRT. That is the body restraint tether that creates and provides greater body positioning and stability. And that is when working in close proximity to the International Space Station and being able to retain the use of both of her hands. And she will need that because Anil Menon is going to hand her the strut bag for today's spacewalk. That consists of 6 struts and a mounting base for the future use of an International Space Station rollout solar array. And that bag, quite large, 8 feet in long, and weighing here on Earth what would be 330 pounds. And that mass will be handed over to Jessica Meir to then have connected to her suit. And then once that is handed over, Anil Menon will make his way out of the hatchway and get his first views and begin officially his first spacewalk.
By there, I'm going to try to rotate to the handle side. Handle yet. You keep turning it that direction.
Yep, I can.
Okay, I've got my hand on the handle.
Okay.
And I'm going to get my BRT ret on it. Pause there. Okay, I have my BRT ret on it. I'm going to release this. Have the ret side actually.
I do have the I can easily release the ret if you'd like me to.
You can go ahead. I have it retted.
It is released.
I copy. I'm going to pull it out a little bit more. Okay, hold it there.
We get our first views from the helmet cam of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir outside of the Quest airlock being handed the strut bag for today's U.S. spacewalk. Being handed over to her from NASA astronaut Anil Menon. And you can see those body restraint tethers attached to the side of the space station. And there in the background, you can see the solar array wing and the Northrop Grumman NG-24 vehicle and cargo craft attached to the station. And again, that strut bag, quite large, 8 feet long, weighing over 300 pounds, that has now been handed over to Jessica Meir. So Jessica Meir continuing to maneuver her body and the strut bag for today's spacewalk. And you can see on the handle of that strut bag for 3B, that is the task for today's spacewalk, to install the IROSA mod kit on the 3B mass canister for her and NASA astronaut Anil Menon.
Be adjustable, and I'm putting that over to my mini workstation for some extra maneuverability.
And this view, again, from the helmet cams, the HECA cams from NASA astronaut Jessica Meir.
Bag transfer to EV1 is next.
No copies. In place.
I'm going to refine this bag, I think, a little bit after, come out a little bit more. I like the position I'm in right now to receive the cable bag.
Okay. My handle's coming out first. And give me some station coordinate directions to get it to you.
Wait, stand by. I'm going to get a rep. Stay right there. I'm going to get my red on it.
All right, no problem. I
Can
can
you come down a little bit more? Yeah, I'm going to try to get a red. I wanted to get a red on the other side.
On the other side, I can help you with that. Hold on. Is that easier? Handle feature with you.
Yeah, I've got a ret on it. You can release that ret.
Okay. It is off, and I'm putting it on the UIA. It is now on the left side of the UIA and out of the way.
We copy the tether config, and that EV1 has the cable bag. EV2 for met rate, we would like you to pause a couple minutes in the airlock before egressing.
Copy, pause.
So no, just to plan out this egress, I am immediately on the forward side. I have the strap bag on my left and the cable bag on my right. The cable bag is out of your way, I think, but it's just kind of underneath the hatch. You can see it.
I can see it.
But if you come out and then go straight aft, we should be in good position.
I'll do that. I think a driver for the net rate might be, I had to really get that net bag from behind the hatch.
Copy.
We understand. That's why it's notated as EV3 in the procedures. It's a big bag.
Yeah, and I think on that egress, that was what was preventing me from closing the hatch all the way. I couldn't see above it. Sorry, from opening all the way. Then we got past it.
NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon working through their procedures. We are now 15 minutes into today's spacewalk, U.S. Spacewalk 96. And there you see Jessica Meir on the outside of the Quest airlock and her indicators on the cuff of her pants, the red stripes, the cable bag that houses all the cables, tethers, and necessary equipment for today's spacewalk. To her right-hand side, to her left, are key components for today's work. Outside on the 3B mass canister, where her and Anil Menon will install a mod kit to that canister and set up for the future installation of an International Space Station rollout solar array that will provide additional power to support critical space station operations. So Meir currently outside of the airlock, Menon still inside as they have transferred the appropriate equipment bags and are currently pausing for a moment before Anil Menon will make his way out of the Quest airlock and get those first views of what is now 15 minutes into his very first spacewalk.
EV2, nice work on the pause. We show good met rates continue. You have a go to egress the airlock.
Go to egress.
And with that communication, we are seeing the first movements of Anil Menon out of the Quest airlock. as he will join Jessica Meir. So now both Menon and Mir have exited the Quest airlock. Mir with the red stripes on her cuff of her pants closest to this camera view, and Neil Menon just on the other side to her right as they will continue to maneuver into position. They have already transferred today's equipment and tools necessary, the cable bag and the strut bag for the installation of the mod kit on the 3B mass canister. And then soon they will step into buddy checks, and that is when they will look over each other's spacesuits and check in on each other, make sure everything is okay before proceeding on with today's spacewalk.
And if you have the handle handy. Here
we go.
So the official start time of today's spacewalk, 7:33 a.m. Central Time, is when the suits were transitioned over to a battery power, and we are now 19 minutes into U.S. Spacewalk 96.
Once you get a red on it, you can release that.
Okay, my red is on it, and it's on my VOT as well.
Okay, I can't reach my right now, so you can push it to me, or you can get it off.
I think given this position, I'm going to rotate towards you.
Okay, I see it. Stand by right there. I've got my red off.
Thank you for the help.
Copy. Nice work between the two of you on that choreography. Jessica, when you're ready, 10, the hatch thermal cover closed. And you'll turn on your HECA when you have it
open until.
Okay.
You just want it partially closed? Definitely?
Yes, it's just a partial tending it in the closed direction.
Okay, copy, inward.
And Anil, you can turn on your HECA when you have an opportunity, and after that is buddy checks.
Mills HECA is on.
Copy.
The thermal cover, could you move those tethers a little bit?
Bring them. Go. Here.
The tandem of NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon have now successfully exited the Quest airlock and are closing the thermal hatch cover. Jessica Meir would depart first. Anil Menon would hand her the cable bag and strut bag for today's US EVA and spacewalk.
Okay, let me move the cable bag out of my way. Ready for buddy check.
Okay, I'm looking at you. I see that your green HECA light is on. Your lights are not on yet, so you can go ahead and turn those on. I see 1, 2, 3 taps, and I see both of your safer handles are down.
Okay. I'm looking at you. I see 1 green light. I see 3 taps up. And can you roll to your left? Can you...
Sorry?
Other way. I to 2 handles down.
Okay, and I have a dry half, and I'm going to give a baseline glove check. Gloves look nominal. I have a small black smudge on the middle finger of my left hand, on the tip.
I've got dry half and 2 good gloves.
Copy. Good buddy checks, good hap, and good gloves. And for EV1, we copy nominal with the small black smudge on the finger.
Okay, and the thermal cover is not going to stay closed with the tether coming out there. Do you want us to try to get it closed again?
Jessica, we're happy with the config. Yeah, we just wanted it tended closed, but we're happy with the config. We are ready for you to start translation. I have 2 cautions for you both and 1 caution for EV1. Avoid inadvertent contact with deployed test cable, zenith and nadir cedar rails to prevent kinks, folds, or real issues. Avoid contact with radiator and flex hoses. And for EV1, keep translation rates below 0.7 feet per second with the strut bag on your BRT.
EV1 copies.
EV2 copies.
Hey, Neil. You good?
Great.
All right.
Yeah, I can do all the adaptations while you translate.
Sounds like a plan.
We concur with that plan. Please verify as part of your buddy checks you saw good tools and tethers on both crew.
Confirmed.
Good tools and tethers on Anil. And a reminder, we've got our slingshot here, so all those wheels are in the middle. I don't see any twists that we don't need.
Concur. Good tools and tethers.
Hey, copy.
Copy. Good tools and tethers. Jessica, you are en route to the anchor hook locations on S1. For Anil, for translation adaptation, you can attempt a body rotation, pitch yaw roll, various hand grips, stable light fingertip hand between handrail and structure, translation without rotation, and attaching local tether and releasing both hands. We are also about 50 seconds to a handover.
Mail copies all.
Side-by-side views of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir and Anil Menon as they have just recently completed their buddy checks after exiting or egressing the Quest airlock, successfully handling over the tools. Some of the procedures they went through is to make sure their tethers were attached properly, their safers were in a good setup, and also their HAPS, the helmet absorption pad, the safety device developed by NASA to address any possible risks of water inside the helmets. Everything went well. As we now welcome you back inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where the teams on the ground continuing to monitor the progress of today's spacewalk, as we are now 26 minutes, 20 seconds, and counting into today's 96th U.S. spacewalk. We're currently switching over communications satellites, and we will bring you back those live views and communications with the NASA astronauts, Ronak Dave and the Momentum flight team overseeing today's spacewalk.
The anchor hook location for EV1's anchor is handrail 3217, the zenith side.
Hey, 3217.
And for EV2, for your translation adaptation period. We are still seeing MET rates a little bit high, so we'd like you to perform the translation adaptation that you need, but be sure to build in a rest before beginning translation for the procedure.
Copy. Thanks for the feedback. Will do.
As we return to views from the helmet cams of NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon. This is Jessica Meir's camera as she is translating across or moving around the International Space Station in preparation for receiving additional equipment necessary for today's spacewalk to install the 3B at mast mod kit on the 3B at mast canister. The International Space Station currently in an orbital nighttime, so the cameras aboard the spacesuits are now on as the space station now crossing over the Indian Ocean, about to pass over the west coast of Australia at 266 statute miles above Earth. And that is a view of Anil Menon that is still close to the Quest airlock, continuing his translation adaptation as necessary. As for Jessica Meir, continuing to make her way across the space station in preparation for today's install. And side-by-side views, there you see Anil Menon and his helmet cam looking back into the International Space Station in the Quest airlock on the right-hand side. As for Jessica Meir on the left, continuing her movements across the space station. As the two will be working in tandem today to install that 3B mast, or the mod kit to the 3B mast canister.
I am at the starboard seat of cart, going very slowly with the strap bag, and I'm going to come find our handrail.
Copy, EV1.
And again, side by side.
17, I'm going to put my anchor on 3217.
Houston concurs.
My anchor hook is on 3217, gate closed, slider left.
We copy, Jessica. Good load path for EV1.
"31 minutes into today's U.S. Spacewalk 96, as Anil Menon, still in his translation adaptation near the Quest airlock, and you're hearing communications between Jessica Meir and the teams on the ground, as Jessica has arrived to a crew equipment translation aid cart, a seated cart. And those carts that Jessica has arrived at is offering a method to help translate or help move large pieces of equipment. And for Jessica Meir today in her spacewalk, currently tethered to her spacesuit is an 8-foot strut bag with a mass of 300 pounds, over 300 pounds.
Two's anchor hook is on 3215, gate closed, slider locked.
Copy all, Jessica. Good load path for EV2. You can give EV2 a go to release the waste tether.
All right, EV2, I see a good load path here. Have a go to release.
Copy, go.
Stephanie, do I have a go to continue my translation starboard?
Yes, and while you're translating, I have 2 cautions and a warning to read. Do not translate on Sarge DLA. Do not load DLA cable under MLI. Avoid contact with ECU and SSU on unlatched BGA mass canisters. The one warning, avoid inadvertent contact with grapple fixture targets and target pins to prevent suit damage.
1 copies.
.5 minutes into today's spacewalk as we get side-by-side views of the helmet cams of Jessica Mir and Anil Menon.
Closing the thermal cover. Thank you.
The cover is closed.
Copy closed. Translate to port CETA cart with 2 for the WIFX bundling to the cable bag.
Port translating now. E2.
So for Jessica Mir on the left-hand side of your screen, a CETA cart that will help offer her extra support in maneuvering large pieces of equipment, much like the 8-foot-long, 330-pound strut bag that is attached to her space suit. And you just heard commands for NASA astronaut Anil Menon on the right-hand side to begin translation to another crew equipment cart to pick up a WIFX, a worksite interface extender. And this will allow the crew member to reach work sites that are not easily accessible with the articulating portable foot restraint. We'll hear a lot of those acronyms here soon as well. The APFR, and this WIFX with the APFR adds additional length and maneuverability that will be necessary to help out with today's spacewalk activities. And again, these crew members will be installing an AROSA mod kit on the 3B mass canister of the International Space Station. They will build an upper triangle portion, attach the right and left struts to connect that upper triangle, which also contains the mounting bracket for today's EVA and future IROSA or International Space Station rollout solar relay install. They'll route the cables and then set up that stage for the future EVA that will see the installation of that rollout solar array.
EV2 is at Cedar Rail.
Copy EV2. And for EV1 for translation at S4, follow the keel side non-radiator edge. There is an optional fair lead on the non-radiator side of the grapple fixture per your preference. You are en route to your green hook location on X6, on S6, handrail 2042.
Yeah.
That is NASA astronaut Anil Menon with the cable bag attached to his left, currently translating along the truss of the International Space Station, where he will pick up some additional equipment necessary for today's spacewalk.
EV2 is at the CETA cart.
Copy. EV2 at the CETA cart.
So he has arrived, Anil Menon. You just heard to the CETA cart, that again, the crew equipment translation aid cart. And that is where a lot of the extra equipment outside of the International Space Station and orbital replacement units also could be found.
And you're doing great. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
It is on this CETA cart that Anil Menon will pick up a WIFEX, a work site interface extender that'll help add extra length and maneuverability with the articulating portable foot restraint that the astronauts use to lock their feet into place as they will work on the 3B mast canister and the 3B mod kit for today's spacewalk. And you can see the ties that are angling off that cable bag. That is where he will bundle that WIFEX extender. A view from the helmet cam of NASA astronaut Anil Menon, as that is the worksite interface extender that he is currently manipulating and maneuvering, that he just removed from the CETA cart. And he will now bundle to the cable bag that he has in tow.
And we copy, per your discretion.
And by bundling, he will take those wire ties that are attached to the cable bag to secure it before maneuvering any further in today's spacewalk tasks.
Is secured. Extender is secured.
We copy. You have the your bundle of joy now, the WIFEX bundle to the cable bag. And next is the translation to S6 IEA. Prior to crossing the Sarge, check gauntlets in place.
My mat rate in.
And this is a good pace here. You're doing a nice job.
Okay, gauntlets are down, and I'm headed out.
I'm at 2042, Stephanie. I'm working on my green hub.
Copy that. Inboard stanchion.
Just over 41 minutes into today's U.S. Spacewalk 96, as NASA astronaut Anil Menon has successfully bundled the worksite interface extender to the cable bag. And now we'll translate across or move across the International Space Station to the IEA, the Integrated Equipment Assembly.
Copy. Good config. Nice job. Next, stow the strap bag on the outboard non-radiator corner of the IAA using handrails 2045, 2071, and 2070. Tape towards the mass canister.
I'm headed there.
Handrail towards the center of the IEA.
very happy to go to strut bag.
Yes, you also have an opportunity to drop your bundle of joy.
All right, EV2 has passed the MT, and it's 1,000 times easier than in the pool.
Ultra.
Copy all. For EV2, for your translation at S4, you'll follow the keel side non-radiator edge, also optional fair lead per your discretion on the keel side of the grapple fixture. En route to stowing the cable bag on the inboard non-radiator corner of S6.
Copy, non-radiator side, optional fair lead, EV2 copy.
"45 minutes into today's U.S. Spacewalk 96 as NASA astronauts Jess Kamir and Anil Menon continue preparations for the construction of the 3B mod kit, the mass canister of the International Space Station. After exiting the Quest airlock and doing quick buddy checks, they would begin their movements across the station to pick up additional equipment necessary, including the WIFX, the Worksite Interface Extender, also a quick stop off at the Crew Equipment Translation Aid Cart, or CETA cart, and that helps them move large equipment across the International Space Station as needed. And part of that equipment does include an 8-foot-long, 330-pound strut bag that is a part of today's spacewalk activities. And now the two making their way to an IEA that you may have heard in communications with the team on the ground here at Mission Control, the Integrated Equipment Assembly. And that's the assembly of several power system orbital replacement units, or ORUs, that transform and control power from the solar array wing to the power channel. So direct access to some of the tasks required for that future rollout of an International Space Station rollout solar array.
We copy. That hook on 2071 is the large, small, adjustable large hook.
Small adjustable on 2071.
The crew currently working in an orbital nighttime for the International Space Station, which orbits the Earth every 90 minutes, so a sunrise and sunset every 45. And you see lights off the helmet cameras of the two NASA astronauts. You see Jessica Meir ever so faintly off on the left-hand side. And you can identify her by the red stripes on the cuff of her pant leg of her spacesuit today. And for Anil Menon in the foreground, you see his helmet lights really shining and reflecting off of the International Space Station, as those two will be working in tandem to build today's modification kit to the 3B mass canister. Now 48 minutes into today's U.S. spacewalk, as you continue to see Anil Menon and Jessica Meir, two NASA astronauts, continuing their preparations for the installation of a modification kit to the 3B mast canister. And with that, I am thrilled to welcome in colleague and friend of NASA Communications, Ken Appel, for additional commentary.
All right, Jessica, I'm here. I got eyes on 2039 and 2042.
Those are good handrails for EV2 for the cable bag.
Stephanie, I've got this third strap on 2045.
Copy, third strap 2045. Nice work stowing the strut bag. At your convenience or when you're ready, we'll take a glove, hap, and gauntlet check. We also would like to check that your HECA green light is on.
Click this way, I can check.
I see my green light. Light is on. And I have a dry hap. And still no change to gloves.
No change to gloves, dry hap, gauntlets down, check, good green light on your HECA for EV1.
Sure.
For EV1, we would like a power cycle on your HECA. Anil, as you work to stow the cable bag with the handrail towards the center of the IAA, we'd like you to take a few-minute pause.
Clarification, you want me to pause now or continue with bag stow?
After the bag stow. So once you've got the bag stowed, friendly reminder handrail towards the center of the IAA, then we'd like you to pause.
Okay.
And I will cycle my HECA in just 1 second.
Copy.
HECA is off, and I need to wait a certain number of seconds to just right back on.
Right back on for the HECA power cycle.
Back on, and I see a good green light again.
Copy. Thank you. With that work, Jessica, we are ready for you to begin working to build the upper triangle. Open the strap bag, securing the straps as needed. Retrieve the mounting bracket from the strap bag, keeping that tethered to the bag, and you may lock out the ret if required.
Cable bag is fully stowed. 3 locations tied down for stability. Taking a pause.
We copy. Nice work. Also saw the WIFX on your BRT. We still would like you to pause for met rates. Thank you.
I'm going to increase my TCV during this pause. We'll report.
Copy.
I have the mounting bracket out, and I'm going to retrieve the upper right strap.
Copy. Upper right struts under straps 3 and 4.
TCV set to 8 for EV2.
Copy. TCV 8 for EV2. Thank you.
Stephanie, just for feedback from the team, when I do something like install an APFR, I'm going to try to do it a little bit slower. It seems like when I take action, it pops my met rate, so I'll just maybe slow down those procedural steps a little bit.
And we copy, you know. We think it'll stabilize as you ingress the APFR and work throughout the EVA. We're just trying to be conservative with the pacing.
Let me know if that hypothesis is accurate. Else I'll just continue doing as I'm doing until the APFR with your pauses.
And your hypothesis is correct.
If your pause is close enough by here, you could help me stabilize this mounting bracket. Up to the team on what they want to do there.
I don't know if you caught that. Do you want me to help Jessica stabilize the mounting bracket while paused?
Anil, yes, you can help Jessica stabilize the struts. We're almost done with the pause, and once we show good met rates, we'll get you moving.
Want to help, Jessica?
Let's see when we're ready to pause, and we'll make a call then.
Okay. Dropping my visor.
For Anil, we show good met rates. We're ready for you to translate to your green hook location, S6, handrail 2029.
Under the green hook, handrail 2029.
It's a good copy.
Stephanie, I've got the lip underneath the guide here, lining up the black lines. See if I can try to hand start it all.
Jessica, we copy. And Anil, as you translate, there are 3 cautions. Do not translate on the S6 PVR base handrail. Avoid inadvertent contact with PVR pit pin near PFCS. Battery adapter plate cables on IEA or potential snag hazards.
No copies. pausing for tether cleanup.
We copy.
Stephanie, this is kind of a three-handed operation to try to line these up, keep them both in position, and then go for my PGT. So any suggested strategies are welcome.
I'm right here in case you need to pivot now.
Copy, checking.
The thing is, Jessica, once I get the APFR install, I'll eventually be able to help them too.
That trying to stabilize two free-floating objects, then get the PGT is a challenge.
This is Mission Control Houston, and if you're just joining us, we're covering U.S. Spacewalk 96 that began at 7:33 a.m. Central, 8:33 a.m. Eastern this morning. We are currently just over an hour into today's spacewalk, and all procedures have gone by the book. Actually, a bit ahead of schedule this morning, about 10 minutes or so.
2029 reel unlocked. Also double check on the outboard.
Today's spacewalk prepares the 3B power channel for the future installation of new rollout solar arrays. Once installed, the arrays will provide additional power to support critical station operations.
That handrail is not.
NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon, who you see on your screen, are currently assembling the upper triangle, which is the first portion of today's construction. This assembly consists of the IROSA mounting bracket and two struts that'll connect to the 3B canister.
37.
For Jessica, for help stabilizing the two parts of the upper triangle, the mounting bracket and the upper...
Live view on your screen of NASA astronaut Anil Menon.
Try to clamp the mounting bracket with the upper strut, hold it together and pinch it in that way. You also might be able to use tethers from the either adjustables or tethers in the bag to hold the mounting bracket in place as you're working to align the upper strut with it.
I've got it aligned now, so I think I'm in a pretty good spot to get my PGT. Well, I can take PGT settings.
PGT settings, Bravo 3, clockwise 2. And this is the EV3 PGT. It is the PGT from the strut bag.
Oh, that's right.
With the 2-inch rigid.
So as you just heard, that we are over an hour into today's U.S. Spacewalk 96, an hour and 7 minutes to be exact, as NASA astronauts Anil Menon and Jessica Meir have maneuvered into position to today's work site, the mass canister, to start construction of the 3B mod kit on that same mass canister. The upper triangle is the initial stages of that construction, which includes the mounting bracket for the future International Space Station rollout solar array, and then two upper struts, and when angled together will create that triangle with the point connecting to the mass canister that will, a mounting bracket that will attach to the mass canister. and then they will move into constructing the right and left struts to further secure this modification kit to the International Space Station. And with this view, you see the teams working in tandem together, and you had a great view there. And then now in the hands of Jessica Meir, who in this view looks like she is upside down, but we can identify her due to the red stripes on her pants and backpack of her spacesuit, the portable life support system. She has the pistol grip tool, or PGT, the powered drill that will help assemble today's struts to the mounting bracket and attach it to the mass canister.
3 clockwise 2.
3 clockwise 2.
Drive M13 and M14, 4 turns.
Actually, looks like I was successful in getting a hand start on M13, probably about a half a turn.
Copy, half a turn, M13.
Yeah, I'm at WIF 37.
With 37, the WIF-X takes a clocking of 6.
And there you see in action the pistol grip tool securing one of the upper struts to the mounting bracket. The mounting bracket, the more vertical portion in Jessica Meir's left hand, the strut portion that will go from the bracket to the mass canister on the right hand side. And using that pistol grip tool to start securing the pins and bolts as they continue to work through procedures to build again the upper triangle. And a part of this construction consists of 6 struts. You have the 2 struts that'll help build this triangle, but you also have the right struts, a mid strut and a lower strut, and then also mirror that on the left-hand side, a mid and lower, so 6 in total. That will be needed to construct this modification kit to the 3B mast canister.
I've got a hand start, 1.5 turns on M14. And then the struts are right behind you.
Me to move? Where's that?
No, it's just a caution for you.
Okay.
Copy, 1.5 turns, M14.
I did another 2.5 turns on the PGT. So that's 13 and 14. I can see there's definitely still a lot of play. There'd be that much play with 4 turns. Should I get any additional?
This is as expected. We copy a 4 turns total on M14.
And verify the tab is in the groove.
Verify the tab is in the groove.
Tab is in the groove, and I can no longer see the first black line.
We copy, that's a good config. Next, retrieve left upper strut from the bag.
Copy left upper, and that'll be center pad first. And I'm going to change my settings first because I think this one is Bravo 1, correct?
That's correct. Bravo 1, clockwise 2 on the strut bag PGT, 20 seconds to a handover. 2 minutes to a handover.
Stephanie, the WIF extender is 6, off, 5, full twist test, black on black.
Copy 6, Golf 5. Black and color, black on black. Good pull twist test.
This is Mission Control Houston, and thank you once again for joining along for today's live coverage of U.S. Spacewalk 96. As you see on your screen, aboard the International Space Station, just on the exterior, NASA astronaut Jessica Meir and Anil Menon. Meir with the red stripes around her pants and top of her portable life support system, and for Anil Menon, just off to her right-hand side.
We're ready for you to translate to with 31 to retrieve the APFR. So fair lead on handrail 2066. And you're moving zenith on the outboard side of the trunnion pin.
This outboard side is key, and I'm headed to with 31, the opposite side. Copy fair lead 2066.
Good readback.
So tasks so far have included a full translation from the Quest airlock all the way to the 3B mod kit and power supply that the mod kit will then attach itself onto for the International Space Station rollout solar array. Jessica Meir, with some additional assistance from Anil Menon, have started the construction of the upper triangle, which you see Meir holding on to right there. But as we have transitioned communications between satellites, we welcome you back inside of the International Space Station Flight Control Room here in Mission Control Center, Houston, Texas, as the Momentum Flight Team, manned by Ronak Dave, Flight Director, with Stephanie Wilson as the spacewalk communicator. That is her voice that is relaying instructions to Anil Menon and Jessica Meir. There you see her sitting just to the right-hand side of Ronak Dave. And to the right side of Stephanie Wilson is Aki Hoshide, the Capcom. He has taken over communications with the crew inside of the International Space Station and the Expedition at 75 team. And then for Ronak Dave, you can identify him in the Navy suit. Just to his left side is Flight Director Chris Dobbins, who is on tap for a future spacewalk coming up here quite shortly. Again, this is the first of 3 in the month of October, all outside of the International Space Station. Today, the 281st in support of ISS assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. The 6th in the career for Jessica Meir, and the very first for Anil Menon.
Houston's back with you. Jessica, how's it going with the left upper strut L2 clevis to the center pad L2?
I'm working on the clevis right now.
Excellent, thank you.
Now an hour and 15 minutes into today's U.S. Spacewalk 96, as Jessica Meir on your screen there, still holding on to that mounting bracket and one of the struts attached to it, as her and Anil Menon continuing to proceed through today's construction of the 3B modification kit. Again, this modification kit will modify the station's 3B power channel and ultimately prepare it for the future installation of the International Space Station rollout solar array, where this 3B power channel specifically, once the pair of solar arrays arrive on NASA's SpaceX 35th Commercial Resupply Services mission later this year, that'll bring the pair of IROSAs for future spacewalks to power up and connect to the 2A and 3B channels. So again, today, spacewalk addressing the 3B channel. 2 prior spacewalks helped construct what is the 2A channel on the International Space Station. Those were done back starting in May of 2025, thanks to NASA astronauts Nicole Ayers and Ann McLean. And the rest of that construction of that modification kit on the 2A channel was just this past March on U.S. Spacewalk 94, in which Jessica Meir, who you see on your screen there with the red stripes, was joined by NASA astronaut Chris Williams to complete that construction. But for today on the 3B mod kit, it'll be from start to finish, as again, they are working on that upper triangle. And you see Jessica Meir working with the strut bag, 8-foot-long bag that contains the 6 struts and upper mounting bracket.
APFR is secure.
Copy. APFR is retrieved. Translate back to width 37 and install it in the WIFX with a clocking of 12.
Clocking at 12 in WIFX.
So there you heard NASA astronaut Anil Menon, who is sent off to retrieve the APFR, that is the articulating portable foot restraint that functions as a standing plate for the crew members to snap their boots into and lock themselves into place, and that helps them provide a hands-free, stable position for what will become some complex tasks ahead in constructing the remaining struts, attaching them to the mounting brackets, and then taking the other end of those struts and attaching them to the 3B mass canister. He will attach that APFR, or again, articulating portable foot restraint, to the WIFX, which he obtained earlier in this spacewalk. And that WIFX helps add extra length and maneuverability to Anil Menon's future tasks ahead. So far, we are an hour and 19 minutes into today's spacewalk.
Copy. Black line flush.
Upper triangle construction is well underway.
Left upper strut to grounding block on the center pad. And also verify the pip pin from the right upper strut is still installed in the grounding block on the center pad.
Can confirm that the right side is installed, and I'll work on the left.
Copy.
And just to your right, the mounting bracket's just to your right, just for your SA.
Okay. I'll stay tight.
And there you can see that upper triangle is starting to take shape, that mounting bracket, the base of the triangle, if you will, just off to the right-hand side, angling outward into the hands of Jessica Meir, as the right and left upper struts being assembled. And then soon they will add the center pad, which is the top point of that triangle, the one that is in Meir's hands at the moment. That is what will attach to the 3B mass canister.
MLI and center pad covering L2 clevis.
Jessica currently installing the left upper strut to the center pad, the portion that will attach to the 3B mass canister. And then complete the triangle. You can kind of see it just above Jessica's head. Again, she is the one with the red stripes on the cuff of her pants. And that will attach to the IROSA mounting bracket. And for Anil Menon, you see him off to the right-hand side, upside down from this vantage point. He has the articulating portable foot restraint that he is attaching to the WIFX.
MLI is installed.
Moving to APFR close to you.
See it? And Stephanie, am I okay now that this bolt is on the center pad? Can I remove the strut, the rep from the left strut?
Checking. Jessica, you can release the ret on the right upper strut, but not yet on the left upper strut.
I thought the right upper strut was the one that was staying attached the whole time.
Jessica, the ret on the mounting bracket will stay attached the entire time.
Okay, copy that.
One remaining step for MLI, verify right upper strut MLI on center pad covering L1 clevis.
It's covering the L1 clevis on the right upper strut.
Copy. Next is to install the left upper strut LA to mounting L8 to mounting bracket left side.
APFR is attached. clocking 12, locking color black on black, good pull and twist on it.
Copy 12, black on black, good pull twist. Remaining settings, Tango Tango, Foxtrot 12.
And Stephanie, I'm back to Bravo 3 for these folks.
Bravo 3, clockwise 2 on the strut bag PGT, drive M15, exactly 4 turns.
Turns on 15, Bravo 3, clockwise 2 is set.
Good settings.
The Bill's going for Tango Tango, Foxtrot 12.
Those are good settings. Verify pitch knob can be depressed.
Oh, sorry, I'm initiating that. I haven't done it yet.
Copy. Thank you for the clarification.
One hour and 25 minutes into today's U.S. Spacewalk 96, featuring NASA astronaut Jessica Meir operating to the right side of your screen, and Anil Menon floating towards the upper portion as they continue construction on the upper triangle. That is a part of the 3B modification kit to the 3B power channel for the International Space Station. And this modification kit will prepare for the installation of an International Space Station rollout solar array on a future spacewalk. Currently, the task, as you can see, is Jessica Meir is continuing to work on that construction of the upper triangle. The silvery gray portion is the mounting bracket in which the IROSA will attach itself to. And then the actual struts themselves and center pad, closest now to Jessica's left knee, is what will attach to the mass canister. Now, as for Anil Menon, he is currently attaching and working on the articulating portable foot restraint that will allow him to step into that restraint, lock him into place, and that'll allow him to be safe and secure, but also free up use of his hands as they continue to build through today's modification kit. And again, that modification kit includes 6 struts. So once these upper left and right struts to the mounting bracket are complete, there will be a mid and lower for each the right and the left side. So 2 of the 6 currently in action right now. And that is where the extra reach and portable articulating portable foot restraint will help Anil Menon and Jessica Meir extend access to the areas they need to in order to not only assemble but also secure this 3B modification kit to the 3B mass canister.
And I know I'm right behind you.
Yeah, I'll be out of your way in a second.
And again, Jessica Meir and Anil Menon on the left and right sides respectively, upside down from our vantage point here on NASA Plus and the NASA channels, constructing that upper triangle for the 3B modification kit. Today, the 281st spacewalk for support of the International Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. For Jessica Meir, this is her 6th spacewalk, and the crew member wearing the red stripes on the left. For Anil Menon, this is his very first. It is the 4th spacewalk of 2026. in which Mir had previously participated in 2 of those previous 3, and then the first spacewalk of Expedition 75.
Copy Tango Tango and pitch knob depressible.
Got some hand start turns on M15. Got 1.5 turns.
Copy 1.5 turns on M15.
And a half more turns on M15 with the PGD.
Copy 2.5 more turns with 4 turns total on M15. Now drive M16 to torque, expecting about 20 to 23 turns.
Work.
We have hit the 90-minute mark. 1 hour and 30 minutes have gone by in today's U.S. Spacewalk 96 as NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon continue working on the 3B modification kit for the 3B mass canister. For Jessica Meir in the top left, she is working on the upper triangle. As for Anil Menon with the white stripes on his right-hand side, his pant leg, he is working on the articulating portable foot restraint. So far, after beginning their spacewalk at 7:33 a.m. Central Time, 8:33 a.m. Eastern Time, the crew has not only departed the Quest airlock of the International Space Station, but also maneuvered its way down the truss system to the 3B power channel, picking up some extra equipment along the way, including that articulating portable foot restraint and the WFX worksite interface extender to help with today's construction. And as you can see, Jessica Meir continuing to diligently work on the upper triangle. That is the mounting bracket and 2 of the 6 struts required for today's tasks. Also a part of today's tasks, not only the construction and attachment of this modification kit for the future installation of an IROSA, or International Space Station Rollout Solar Array, but also routing the cables necessary for that connection of the IROSA to help augment the power of the orbiting laboratory.
Got 16 turns, good green light, 18.2.
On M15, 18.2 torque, 6 turns, green light, 16 turns. 16 turns, sorry, check black line flush.
Confirm, black line is flush.
Right. Stephanie, I'm all set on the APFR.
And Jessica, we have an additional good bolt on M15, so M16, M15 are good bolts. Release the ret from the left and right upper struts.
Copy.
And for EV2, we'll take a glove, hap, and gauntlet check from you.
It's down, gloves look good, and hap is dry.
Copy, good gloves, dry hap, gauntlets are down. Give us your HECA light.
See, green light.
Copy, green light, verify, left safer handle down.
There was a little movement on that. It's now down.
We copy. Thank you for checking, verifying. For Jessica, next for you is I have PGT settings when you're ready for torquing the right upper strut to the mounting bracket.
I am ready. I believe those are the same settings. Bravo 3, clockwise 2. I'm in position for 13 and 14.
Excellent. And you are correct. Same settings. You'll drive M13 and M14 to torque an additional 18 turns.
So there you heard communications for NASA astronauts Anil Menon and Jessica Meir on the next steps of their procedures for today's U.S. spacewalk number 96. For Jessica Meir on the bottom right side of your screen, she continues to work and now torque down using her pistol grip tool or the space drill to connect the upper struts to the mounting bracket for today's spacewalk tasks of constructing a modification kit to the mass canister. And there you actually see a great view as we just translated up and panned up to the mass canister. On the upper left and right hand sides, just for perspective, that is NASA astronaut Anil Menon stepping into the articulating portable foot restraint, but just off to his left shoulder and then off to his far right are the solar arrays for that 3B power channel for the International Space Station. And that is the canister that they will attach this collection of 6 struts and a mounting bracket for a future IROSA install. Now, 1 hour and 35 minutes into today's spacewalk, the International Space Station currently flying over France.
Jessica, I copied on M13, 18.4 on the torque, 17 turns, green light, black line flash.
Good copy. Starting 14.
Copy.
When you get a chance, let me know.
Stephanie, I got 17 turns again. 18.2, good green light. Black line is flush on M14.
On M14, copy 18 torque, I believe 17 turns.
So as NASA astronaut Anil Menon locks himself into the articulating portable foot restraint and prepares for the next steps of the construction of this 3B mod kit. Let's take a closer look at where exactly the astronauts are operating today. They're on the starboard side of the International Space Station, down the backbone of the truss system, the S6 portion of the truss system, and where you see the 3B highlighted in yellow, they are all the way at the tail end of the orbiting laboratory, and at the base of that 3B construction along the truss structure is where the 2 astronauts are currently operating to assemble the collection of 6 struts and the mounting bracket for a future rollout of an International Space Station rollout solar array. Now, what do those look like, you may wonder? If you look at the far right-hand side of this graphic, there is an example of what that IROSA, or International Space Station Rollout Solar Array, would look like once fully unfurled. And again, those will arrive to the International Space Station for both the 3B and the 2A power channels later on this year.
I'm going to release the adjustable that's on the scoop.
And as we were explaining that breakdown of where Jessica Meir and Anil Menon are, we just received confirmation that the upper triangle has been completed. And there you get a great illustration at the bottom of your screen right there of what that looks like. It is the mounting bracket with 2 struts, and then the center pad, that is the small gray structure. That is what will attach to the 3B mass canister. And then the mounting bracket is where the International Space Station rollout solar array will be affixed to on a future spacewalk.
Top is dry. My gloves are nominal, no change.
Copy dry hap, no change on the gloves and your gauntlets.
Gauntlets are down.
Copy gauntlets down. Nice work, both of you. We are now in the upper triangle handoff portion. I have 3 cautions, which I'm going to read to you within the 2 minutes that I have till handover. No sudden movements on the ECU 4-bar linkage, BGA mass canister, or mod kit. Maintain less than 0.45 feet per second on BGA. Limit loads to 40 pounds. Avoid cyclic loading. Do not impart forces into the mod kit struts before they are fully installed.
V1 copies all, and I am changing my TCV. I am now at a setting of 4.
Copy TCV 4, EV1. And copy EV2, copies the cautions. When you're ready, EV1 present non-tethered left side of upper triangle to hand off to EV2.
Okay. Stand by now. I'm going to come get into position for that.
Do you do a quick boot check to make sure my heels are in?
Sure thing. Looks like your heels are in from this side. I'm behind the boot plate right now. When I come over to the side, I think I'll have a better view.
A check for EV1 for the upper triangle and the PGT. We would just like you to double check that the PGT is not tangled in the upper triangle. 30 seconds to a handover.
Yeah. Copy.
You heard the communications as we prepare for the handoff of that upper triangle from Jessica Meir to Anil Menon and begin preparations of installing that to the 3B mass canister. You have also heard from both Anil Menon and Jessica Meir some safety checks as they check over their gloves, their gauntlets, their HAPS, which is the helmet absorption pad, the safety device developed by NASA to help address the possible risk of water inside the helmets as they sweat through today's EVA opportunities and task list. And everyone so far so good working through. Again, the upper triangle build has been completed as we are now an hour and 41 minutes into today's spacewalk.
Okay, I've got that PGT free. Like that.
EV1, EV2, Houston is back with you. We copied partial comm. Sounds like the PGT is free of the upper triangle.
We welcome you back inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at Mission Control Center in Houston, Texas, as Flight Director Ronak Dave in the Navy suit overseeing today's spacewalk operations. To his right-hand side is NASA astronaut Stephanie Wilson, who has been the one that you have heard communicating with Jessica Meir and Anil Menon today. Aki Hoshide, immediately to her right, is operating and talking to the crew that are not participating in today's spacewalk. Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno, along with Andrei Fedyaev, Pyotr Dubrov, and Anna Kikina, the other members of the Expedition 75 crew aboard the International Space Station. So now we make our way back outside as the upper triangle will be passed from Jessica Meir in the red striped spot at the bottom of your screen up to Anil Menon, who is preparing to secure that upper triangle and the center pad. That is the smaller portion of the triangle that is now being pointed his direction. And that will make its way to him and eventually attached to the 3B mass canister. Anil Menon is in the articulating portable foot restraint, which is also attached to a workspace interface extender, almost like a step stool or step ladder to extend his ability to reach the top of that 3B mass canister.
Here it comes.
Great. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Can you get it up any higher? Oh, it's so close. I got it.
Okay, you got it.
Control.
You've got control.
And he'll install center pad on mass canister with the arrow pointing towards the array.
It's installed and in soft dock.
Copy installed and in soft dock. Verify
Okay.
upper triangle to neutral down for later access.
I came out, Stephanie, so I must have been wrong about that. Let me just give it another try.
Copy that. As you're working with it, engage left side, then press in on the right side to engage the soft dock detents.
Okay. Just going to move this ingress aid.
Stephanie, I have stowed the RET for the PGT and the torque wrench onto the WIFX. They're in a position where I think I'll be able to reach them.
And we copy. Thank you. Nice work. Next, visually inspect and report spherical bearing alignment on both stop brackets. Go ahead, Anil.
We are in soft dock.
Copy soft dock. Nicely done. I see you retrieving your PGT. PGT settings alpha 2, clockwise 2.
And I see good alignment on both of the spherical bearings.
Copy good alignment on both spherical bearings. For EV2, 1, caution. Verify proper alignment for Fairchild fastener installation due to side loading cross-threading sensitivity.
2 copies and alpha 2, clockwise 2 is set and good. Cal.
Copy all. We're looking for 2 turns on M5 through M8.
Turns M5 through M8.
Communications between NASA astronauts Anil Menon and Jessica Meir to the teams on the ground and Spacewalk communicator Stephanie Wilson. And all good news to report so far, as Anil Menon has received the upper triangle. He is now at the bottom portion of your screen and will begin the formal attachment of that upper triangle to the 3B mass canister. Meanwhile, Jessica Meir, who you see at the top portion with the red stripes on her pantsuit and portable life support system, has begun preparations for assembling the right struts of today's construction. And again, this is for the installation of the 3B mass or modification kit to the 3B mass canister that consists of 6 total struts and a mounting bracket. You see the mounting bracket at the knees of Anil Menon towards the bottom of your screen with the first 2 struts now connected, and he will attach that to the mass canister. And then they will move into the right side of the construction, and there we see upright as we would view it here on Earth as the upper triangle, and then they will have 2 more pieces, a lower right side and a mid strut on the right side, and then copy that over to the left-hand portion. So essentially 2 of the 4 struts have been connected and now being formally attached, as you see Anil Menon with his pistol grip tool, the space drill that will help him affix this to the top of the mass canister. And Jessica Meir now out of sight, assembling the next steps in the phase, which is putting together the right lower strut and then right mid strut to follow. We are 1 hour and 49 minutes into today's spacewalk, U.S. Spacewalk 96, as the International Space Station currently orbiting 262 miles above the Earth and about to pass over the northernmost portion of Somalia on the continent of Africa.
5 on the torque, 5 turns, green light. Anil, verify your PGT settings, Alpha 2, clockwise 2.
Alpha 2, clockwise 2. Let me just read you this. M6 was 5 turns, green light, and it was 3.7 on the torque. The last one was 3.8. I accidentally read you the turn count showing up on the PGT, which is probably why it seemed high.
Now we're tracking. So I got M5, 3.8 torque, 5 turns, green light. M6, 3.7 torque, 5 turns, green light.
Confirm. Going to M7.
We concur.
Seven turns, 3.7, green light.
Copy on M7, 3.7 torque, green light, and the turn count was clipped.
Turn.
I believe 6 turns.
Firm, 6 turns. M8 is now 6 turns as well. Green light, 3.8 torque.
M8, 3.8 torque, 6 turns, green light. Copy also 6 turns on M7. Thank you for all. Check center pad MLI and pip pins 2 still installed.
Okay.
Also M5 through M8, all good bolts.
That is NASA astronaut Anil Menon relaying the torque and settings of the 4 bolts that are attaching the center pad, which is the top tip of the triangle, of the upper triangle of today's 3B modification kit. And the crew's here on the ground confirming good bolts as he is now attaching that structure and testing out that structure and inspecting those bolts as we see on our screen. Meanwhile, NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, just off screen, preparing for the right struts to be assembled to the 3B mass canister. And there you now see her appearing to the upper portions where she has the strut bag that she brought from the Quest airlock all the way down to the very end of the starboard side of the International Space Station where the 2 astronauts are working today. And those struts will attach themselves to the mounting bracket and the upper triangle and provide additional support to the 3B mass canister.
And we copy. That is a good config. Thank you.
And with each task, you hear communications from the ground for regular updates on the status of their gloves, the status of their HAPs or helmet absorption pads, all part of the ongoing safety checks as each step continues to make its way down the timeline for both astronauts. Now an hour and 54 minutes into today's spacewalk.
Copy, EV1.
No, Jessica.
Hey, copy.
Go ahead and adjust the APFR with X. That's okay.
Okay, sure thing.
Anil, we see you working
And
to...
Stephanie, can you confirm with X?
Yes, with X extension is 1. Full settings are 6 Golf 1.
Golf 1.
And after the extension, verify ingress 8 is clear of the upper triangle. And your met weights, you've been doing a nice job with everything. Just continue your slow and steady and smooth pace. You're doing a good job.
For the feedback.
Communication with NASA astronaut Anil Menon as he has removed himself from the articulating portable foot restraint and is now adjusting the WIFX that is attached to the worksite interface extender. He had a bit of a higher setting in relative to his positioning along the 3B mass canister. He will now adjust that in support of Jessica Meir, who is to the upper portions of the screen, and Anil Menon with his full backside to the cameras as we see them, as they prepare to now assemble the right struts of this 3B modification kit. Closing in on 2 hours for today's spacewalk, an hour and 57 minutes at the moment. The 6th spacewalk for Jessica Meir's career, the first for Anil Menon. For Anil Menon arriving just 22 days ago launching just 22 days ago aboard Soyuz MS-29 back on July 14th from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. As for Jessica Meir, in her 174th day in space on her current mission after launching with NASA SpaceX Crew 12 back in February. And you can see just past the portable life support system, or the backpack, the spacesuit backpack of Anil Menon, right in the center of your screen, the next strut assembly that Jessica Meir is repairing. And again, we're going to be working on the right side next. So this will be in total strut 3 of 6 that will be next to be attached to provide additional support to this modification kit to the 3B power channel for the International Space Station.
Anil, APFR settings 12, Papa Papa, Charlie 12.
Oh, Papa Papa, Charlie 12.
Still have the ret going to the mounting bracket as well. That will get released after you're back in there?
I believe so.
And Houston concurs. That's affirmative, Jessica.
As we see on the screen, it is becoming a little bit darker outside of the International Space Station as they are making their way into an orbital nighttime pass. Again, the space station orbiting the Earth every 90 minutes, so a sunrise and sunset witnessed by NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon every 45. So they have their helmet cameras, or helmet lights on, in addition to their helmet cameras, of course, as they continue work on adjusting the WIFX and portable foot restraints ahead of the next task of today's spacewalk, which will be assembling the right struts of the 3B modification kit. We have now officially passed the 2-hour mark of today's spacewalk. After getting underway at 7:33 a.m. Central Time, 8:33 a.m. Eastern Time. So far, the astronauts, after departing the space station's Quest airlock, have translated to the far side of the starboard side of the International Space Station to the 3B power channel and solar array, and that is where they are operating now. They have completed construction of the upper triangle, which is, you somewhat see portions of it, namely the mounting bracket towards the bottom of your screen, with some of the reflection of the lights from the camera, or from the helmets of the 2 astronauts. So that upper triangle consisting of the IROSA, or International Space Station Rollout Solar Array mounting bracket, which it will attach to once delivered on a future cargo flight later this year, and then installed on a future spacewalk itself. That mounting bracket with 2 struts attached and attached to the mass canister. 6 struts in total and 1 mounting bracket, so 2 of the 6 have formally been completed. And again, working on the right side, a right lower strut and right mid strut will be next, and then the 2 astronauts will move to the other end and work on the left lower and left mid of today's build out.
This knob was depressible. This is the main change that I made, and the width extender was set at 1, and the pin is at the pull test.
Copy. With extender 1, 12 Papa Papa Charlie 12, pitch knob can be depressed. From Houston, we recommend you ingress the APFR and then perform your socket swap on your PGT to the 2-inch rigid.
A great idea. That's what I was thinking too.
Love it when great minds think alike.
And I see that ret in front of you.
And also a friendly reminder, prior to ingress with the safety tether reel behind you, you may want to clear it or put it in a different position.
Thanks, Jessica.
Looks like you're almost there, so I would continue. I see your toes in.
Okay. We are okay with that.
Come more forward.
Look in.
No, your heel's not in. You need it. Yep. There you go. Keep going a little bit more. Exaggerate that a little bit more in. A little bit more. Now, yeah, I think that your foot is a little bit too far back. So when you're rotating, you're ending up on top of the heel guide. That looks better. That looks good.
All right. Thanks for the assist. Where does my safety tether go?
Safety tether is between your legs behind you.
Okay. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think just when you come out next time, just watch where it goes and get it on the other side of your leg.
Okay. Get it on in front of my left leg, essentially.
Concur.
Okay.
Okay, I have the right mid strut. Are you going to do your socket swap first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big inch off. Good pull test.
Copy. Good socket swap. Good pull test. Verify access to mounting bracket red.
2 hours and 5 minutes into today's spacewalk, U.S. Spacewalk 96, featuring NASA astronaut Jessica Meir at the top of your screen and NASA astronaut Anil Menon at the bottom as they continue working through procedures and construction of the 3B modification kit that will attach to the 3B power channel and support the eventual installation of an International Space Station rollout solar array that will help augment the power of the orbiting laboratory. And that future installation will be on a future EVA. The solar arrays themselves will be delivered on a future cargo flight, NASA's SpaceX 35th Commercial Resupply Services mission. So far, after departing the Quest airlock, picking up additional tools as necessary, they have completed the upper triangle build. Upper triangle consisting of the IROSA mounting bracket and the upper left and right struts. They have since hard mated that to the 3B mass canister and now have adjusted their foot restraints and tools needed to continue to proceed what will be now assembling the right side of the struts of the 3B modification kit. And that right side consists of a right mid strut and a right lower strut, in which one portion will be attached to the 3B mass canister and one portion will be attached to the mounting bracket.
The mounting bracket, right.
Copy. Verify access lower strut clevis.
Access lower strut clevis.
Verify access mid-strut clevis.
Access mid-strut clevis.
Copy. Verify mounting bracket pit pin grounding block.
Good access mountain bracket pit pin grounding block.
Copy. Good access to all those items. Release mounting bracket ret back to the strut bracket.
Hey, Jessica. We've got it all.
Okay, I've got a hand on it. I'm tending it.
Okay, I'm releasing.
Hey, it's back in the bag.
Copy. Mounting bracket ret is released back to the strut bag. We are 30 seconds to a handover for EV2. During that time, we'll take a HECA power cycle.
To cycling HECA.
So as you hear the communications there, they are anticipating a handover, which is a handover in communications satellites. So we will temporarily lose views, but in the process of that handover, asking the astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon to power cycle or essentially turn off and turn back on their HECA cameras, the high definition extravehicular mobility unit camera assembly. So we welcome you back inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room here in Mission Control in Houston, Texas at NASA's Johnson Space Center as that handover in communications satellites is ongoing. We should resume communications with the station here just momentarily as Flight Director Ronak Dave and his Momentum flight team overseeing today's EVA. He is in the middle of your screen in the Navy suit. Immediately to his left is Chris Dobbins, Flight Director that'll be overseeing a future spacewalk. This is the first, today's spacewalk is the first of 3 scheduled for this month. The next will be on Thursday, August 13th, U.S. Spacewalk 97, which will replace a communications antenna on the International Space Station called the Space-to-Ground Antenna, among other tasks. And then also U.S. Spacewalk 98 on Thursday, August 25th. And that will focus on connecting power channels and cables and data relay systems as a part of ongoing space station maintenance, among other tasks. So that is Chris Dobbins to the near side foreground with Ronak Dave for today's EVA. Stephanie Wilson, the spacewalk communicator, immediately to his right, communicating tasks to the team outside of the space station and Meir and Menon. And immediately to her right is Aki Hoshide. He is the Capcom. He is communicating to the other 5 members of Expedition 75 that are inside the space station right now, and they consist of NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway, ESA astronaut Sophie Adno. Those 2 helped support preparations for today's EVA. Andrei Fedyayev, along with Pyotr Dubrov and Anna Kikina, all 3 of Roscosmos, also inside the space station today going through their daily activities.
Reposition to get down to this other strap, and then I'll get it. got the right lower strut.
Transfer right lower strut to EV2 with the clevis end towards him.
I'm rotating this up and now.
Great. Tracking it.
View from the helmet cam of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir inside the strut bag. At the start of the EVA, that bag had 6 struts and a mounting bracket, but she has now pulled out the right lower strut. That is what is in her right hand, and the LR for lower strut. She is handing that over to Anil Menon as they begin construction of the right-hand side of the 3B power channel modification kit for today's U.S. Spacewalk 96. And there you can see the two of them working in tandem. Jessica Meir more towards the middle of your screen as the International Space Station currently in an orbital nighttime. So the two working with their helmet lights on. Meir with the red stripes on her pant leg. For Anil Menon at the bottom of the screen, he has one side of the right strut. And as for Meir, she will grab a hold of the other end of that strut as they maneuver it into position. And again, this is the right lower strut that will help secure this modification kit to the 3B mass canister of the International Space Station. Right now, the two astronauts among their Expedition 75 crew members orbiting 272 miles above the Earth, and they are pretty much at the halfway point, the International Space Station, between the southernmost coast of Australia and the northern portion of Antarctica at the moment. Today's EVA now 2 hours and 14 minutes and 30 seconds of phased elapsed time.
No, this is much closer than it looks in Doug.
Agree. It got a good look at the translation area on the left that you need to use, and I think it's going to work just fine. There's a lot of structural handholds the opposite side of you, on the radiator side.
Send this PGT over to me first.
Jessica,
A point of view from NASA astronaut Jessica Meir.
I have one warning. Pinch point, keep fingers clear of lower strut pad to BGA interface when driving both.
One copy.
And for both of you with the consumables check here, PET 2 hours 17 minutes. You're on the timeline. Limiting consumable is EV2 MEDOX 6 hours 20 minutes. We do expect that to get better.
Yeah, and I'll take settings for the PGT, Stephanie.
PGT settings, alpha 1, clockwise 1 on the strut bag PGT.
Alpha 1, clockwise One is set.
Good settings.
Now,
Align lower strut M19 to the spherical Saab bearing. Looking to drive M19 exactly 4 turns.
copy.
Communications with NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, whose view we had from her helmet camera just a moment ago, but now we see her working with...
Rotate a little bit counterclockwise.
Rotating counterclockwise.
Up there.
So again, Jessica Meir at the bottom right portion of your screen with her helmet light on, securing one side of the right lower strut as they continue to work through their procedures, building out the modification kit for the 3B power channel and 3B mass canister they are attaching it to for today's spacewalk with spacewalker and NASA astronaut Anil Menon.
Bravo 1 clockwise 2.
Bravo 1 clockwise 2.
And understand you're helping with alignment, just giving it to you early.
I'm with you. That was great. Thank you.
Starting turn.
So Jessica Meir again on the bottom right-hand side with her pistol grip tool, the space drill, securing that right lower strut to the mass canister as you start to see it slowly but surely become more and more illuminated. The International Space Station and its 2 spacewalkers, currently in orbital nighttime, but will be coming up on a sunrise here shortly. Anil Menon towards the top half, or now onto Jessica Meir, who is using that pistol grip tool to secure that strut to the mass canister. Prior to that, you heard an update from the spacewalk communicator Stephanie Wilson, providing an update. Now 2 hours and 20 minutes into today's spacewalk. They are on timeline, so they are right on time, both Menon and Meir together, working in tandem today. And they also provided updates on consumables, just how their suits are performing, how they are performing. You heard the term MEDOX canister. That is the metal oxide canister. And that is what is installed in the backpack-like structure you see right there on the backside of Jessica Meir. That is what is called the Portable Life Support System, or the acronym here at NASA is PLIS. And that contains everything that an astronaut needs to venture out into the vacuum of space: breathable atmosphere, carbon dioxide scrubbing, cooling, power, water supply, and the like.
PGT turned off.
Copy that. PGT turned off.
I'll give it another cow.
We copy.
So right now, as we just heard on the communications channel, Jessica Meir again adjusting her PGT or pistol grip tool, the settings, the torque settings needed to secure this right lower strut to the 3B mass canister.
Cow pass, I've got a good LED test. Battery is 42.
Copy, Jessica. It's a good number.
That was Alpha 1, clockwise 1.
Good settings. And looking for 3 more turns on M19.
Work. PGT turned off again as soon as I put it on the socket. I'm not sure what happened there.
And we copy PGT turned off.
We did not hit the button, so interesting. I think this is similar to what happened on the last EVA. So we'll get back into Cal again.
Jessica, we copy CalPass, and we'd like you to use this PGT one more time. We're talking about options.
Okay, copy. Good LED test. 32 volts. Is not driving. It appears to be off again.
And I'm seeing, when you hit the button, I see 2 red lights, 2 green lights. It says LED test.
Is it still on the, okay, so maybe it didn't get all the way switched. Am I? Okay, I didn't get all the way over it.
If that doesn't work, Stephanie, I'm just throwing out an option for you guys to chew on, which is I could take out 1 foot and pass her my PGT.
I have my PGT as well. Obviously, yours has the right socket on it, but I can always socket swap if needed. We're turning now.
Copy.
NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, front and center on your screen with her pistol grip tool, currently troubleshooting some settings and ability to use that tool to help secure the right lower strut with the teams here on the ground.
For EV2 now, align lower strut clevis to mounting bracket L6. You'll drive M20 exactly 2 turns with Bravo 1 clockwise 2.
20, 2 turns, Bravo 1 clockwise 2. Bravo 1 clockwise 2 set on the PGT.
Good settings.
Turn. That first line has gone in.
Copy the line report. 2 turns on M20 for EV1 for the strut bag PGT. You can continue to use this PGT or the options that Anil discussed. His PGT has the appropriate socket, or you could do a socket swap on your PGT. We think the time would be equivalent.
Copy. The PGT seems to be working right now, so we'll try it again.
And we concur. For M19, PGT settings Bravo 7, clockwise 2. You'll drive it an additional 9 turns. You might like the optional BRT position on handrail 2070 or 2071.
I'm not sure if I'll be able to reach with the BRT because of the BRT being on the left side. It'll be easier on the other side, but I will assess that. Bravo 7, clockwise 2. Clockwise 2.
Good settings. Bravo 7, clockwise 2. And understand.
Asset.
107 clockwise 2 is set.
Good settings.
And remind me how many turns are expected here?
We're expecting an additional 9 turns.
9.
And this will, you will drive to torque.
Copy to torque. Okay, that was 2 turns. Do have a low torque at 3.8, so I can, do I have a go to hit it again?
Jessica, say again the turn count.
Turns, and I had a low torque.
Copy 6 turns, low torque, checking. Jessica, double check PGT settings, Bravo 7, clockwise 2.
Clockwise 2 is set.
Copy, we'd like you to drive the bolt again.
Torque. Did get a good green light that time. I have a 23.2 torque. It only turns maybe an eighth to a quarter of a turn. I do have a fault red light on the PGT, but a good green torque light.
Copy for M19,